information. We're not going to reference it a bunch. There's just some numbers there. But if you'd like, there's a QR code you can scan. Unfortunately, I'm going to keep the mask on. I'm recovering a bit from this cold, so I want to make sure I don't get anyone sick. So I'll just try and talk a little louder. Please let me know if you can't hear me. I'll just try to speak up. But as we've already introduced, my name is Sam Solemnidad. I'm the Strategic Partnerships Manager at Asian Pacific Islander American Vote, or APIAVote. And this is my colleague.
Hi, I'm Vida Lin, founder and president of the Asian Community Development Council, ACDC, because we rock. Okay. Someone gets that joke, I'm sorry. But we're here in Nevada.
Well, and as you all know, we're here to talk about empowering the API vote, specifically how to engage API communities in the 2024 election cycle. So, okay, to get us started, I'm going to talk a little bit about APIAVote. So as I mentioned, APIAVote, we are the leading nonpartisan nonprofit organization focused on building API political power by increasing voter and civic participation across the country. So one of the main ways that we do this is through our partnership network. So we have partners in over 29 states across the country. One of our amazing partners is, of course, Rocket ACDC. Nevada, we love Nevada, and we're all here today in Nevada, but that's one of the ways that we really work across the country as a national organization is through our partnership network. And our philosophy is that through investment in local nonprofits who are trusted in their communities, we're able to continuously reach API communities where they are at. So one of the ways that we do that is through our Norman Y. Mineta Leadership Institute, which is basically trainings that we do across the state, where we go to different organizations and talk with community leaders, nonprofits, and volunteers and teach them how to actually implement a civic engagement plan of some sort on the field or wherever they are at, because we understand every state has different regulations and things like that. So that's why we try to make sure that our partners are not just ready to get people to vote, but trained to do so as well. In addition, we have a mailer program that we institute every year that we send out to API communities across the country. We send them to states, and in 2022, we were able to send over 2 million pieces of mail across the country to API communities everywhere. And along with our mailer program, we also have a hotline. So this is a voter protection hotline where we have voters who receive our mailers call in and ask us questions about how to vote, and we do this in language in Mandarin, Cantonese, Tagalog, Bengali, a bunch of API languages. In addition to sending out mailers and doing a hotline, we also do text and phone banking as well as door-to-door canvassing, which is what one of our partners at ACDC does here in Nevada. And so we do this to make sure that we're reaching our API communities on all levels, and not just once with a piece of mail, but calling them, texting them, making sure that they know and have the resources to be able to vote. Because language access is a very important thing that's going to become even more important as we enter into the 2024 presidential elections. So I don't know if anyone knows this, but about one-third of our community of Asian Americans are limited English proficiency, which means English isn't always their first language, they may need help. And so we found that for Asian Americans and other communities who have LEP members, it's actually really hard for them to vote, and they turn out have much lower numbers than other communities. So in addition to language access and making sure we reach people, we also do digital ads. We have youth programs that we try to reach people through. A fun little fact, by 2028, majority of voters in the United States will actually be Generation Z and millennials. So young people like me, we will be making up the majority of voters soon. So unfortunately, we will be ruling the world very, very soon, and I apologize in advance for all of that. But just a little bit more. We do state fact sheets and Asian American voter surveys where we find and do research on the Asian American community, which we then present to the media and to the general public to ensure that not just that our communities are getting out to vote, but other people outside of our community know who we are, know our communities, and know the issues that we care about. Finally, the last major thing I want to talk about with APIAVote is that we have our presidential town hall coming up. I actually want to invite you all, if you're available, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, July 13th, 2024. A little ways off, but hey, if you want to buy your flight tickets now, please do. We'll be holding our presidential town hall, which is basically an event where we bring hundreds of community organizations and leaders to hear from key presidential candidates and representatives who can, come together and finally meaningfully address the API community and our issues. From here, I'm actually going to move over to ACDC so you can talk a little bit about the amazing work that you guys do.
So, let me show of hands. How many do voter registration in your organization now? really? Okay. I'm also going to ask, when we were talking about the president of the town hall, ACDC was founded in 2015. We're only 8 years old. And then what we started out was we registered people to vote because we noticed that if we didn't teach our community how to vote and how to get involved, our voices would never be heard. So when I moved to Nevada in about almost 30 years ago, we had an incident with my nephew going to school, and the family was being followed, attacked, and saying things like, "Oh, go back to your country, you don't belong here." But my 8-year-old nephew wanted to go to school. The teacher would bully him and put him against the corner, and all the other kids would make fun of him, right? So when they were asking for help and support, they couldn't get any help or support. Instead, they got sued to say, "You need to keep quiet," and they got phone calls and threatening phone calls. So my brother-in-law would ask me to come to Las Vegas and help out. And I would come out here and I say, "Hey," to elected officials and people, "How come, why is this issue happening? How come no one's helping out on this family? This is definitely clearly something that needs help, right?" And he said to me, "Because Asians don't vote, we're not gonna care about your issues." Can you imagine hearing that? Now, it took me 20 years to start the Asian Community Development Council. But one of the things that we do, and I was lucky to get funding, was to make sure we get our community to vote because we need to be heard. We need to be present. In the 2020 election, 2020 census, we have over 400,000 Asian and Asian Pacific Islander in Nevada. 400,000, right? So our community is growing. I know you're all in a casino. You haven't drove outside, but there's actually a Chinatown, an Asian town, and 32,000 Asian business owners out here in Nevada. We actually do have a life. We don't all live in a casino or hotel, right? So what I'm trying to say, really important, is like, how did ACDC get started? It started out to make sure that we have services for our community. From people from California, people in Seattle, or wherever it's from. There's an Asian center or Asian place for people to go to, a community center. Guess what? Nevada, we don't have one until 8 years ago. So we're doing direct service. We're helping people doing citizenship. We're helping people get flu shots and so forth. So let me pick the picture. In 2015, I got started. Didn't know what I was doing. Knew that someone gave me funding to do voter registration. Oh, let me try that, right? So I would go and talk to some of my boards, and my boards are very diverse. A lot of corporates on my board. And the reason why is like, we spend money with you. Why are you not giving back to our community? So then I had them sit on my board, and so I said, "Hey," from Caesar, who's on my board, I said, "Can I go to the back of the house and register people to vote? Now you trust me, I'm not going to do anything else but that." Okay. So I go to the break room in the back of the house, and I'm registering people to vote, right? When I did that, a lot of people at the back of the house, people of color, many of them were permanent residents, but never became citizens. So guess what? We partner with Caesars, and now we do a citizenship program. So when they become citizen, they will reimburse them for that application form, which is about $700 to the employees. Because what we did is, I had to go to the casinos and say, "You fund us, you give us money, we will help you build better employee retention rate at the same time." It has to be a reason why they want investments. Now guess what? Caesars investing with us, MGM goes, "We want to be part of that too, right?" Okay, we get MGM as part of it. And then Station Casino goes, "Well, we want to be part of this too, right?" So everybody wants, one large corporation is part of us, other corporation want to be part of us. But what are we going to do for return investment? Voter registration, things like that, right? So now we register the last, I got my amazing team here. We got Eric, go raise your hand, outreach, doing voter registration. He came on 2016. We got Chloe, which we hired from, interview from Taiwan, came to and work for us, and she's been with me how many years now?
Almost 2.5.
2.5 years, okay. It feels like she's been here longer, but anyway. So I have an amazing team that makes it work. We have registered over 36,000 people. Guess what? They pay attention to us now. They know we exist now, right? Corporation knows, community knows, everybody knows. During the pandemic, guess what? Anti-Asian hate crime, right? We were getting restaurants, nobody going to the Asian restaurants, nobody going to any of the dry cleaners and so forth or whatever because, oh, they were afraid that we were going to bring them the disease, right? So we had to, go to elected office and tell them we're having this issue. So the governor at that time will go to Asia Town and meet with the business owner and goes, I'm going to be here for you, right? Now that wouldn't have happened if we haven't registered that many people. That would have not happened if we make sure our community have a voice. So guess what? When everything was shut down, the casino have never shut their doors, ever, for 50 years. Another casino ever shut the doors for so many days and months and so forth, right? All the employees that were working there didn't know where to go to get food and help because they now have no income. Many of them live paycheck to paycheck. Many of them are single families. Whatever the situation is, it's really difficult at that time. It wasn't that long ago. So C.A.C.A came and said, I want to donate food for your community. Oh, great. So we did the food drive. We did the whole, drop the food in the box of the car, right? You just drive through, right? And we started at 10 o'clock, and people were lining up at 6 or 7 o'clock on Spring Mountain, blocking traffic, right? Trying to get food. But we were giving out like cheese and dairies and milk, which is great. But I don't know about you all, I can't do dairy, so. And chicken nuggets, they looked at me and they go, what did I do with chicken nuggets? Did I kind of fry them again, or did I deep bake them? And I had to educate them, right? So what we did was we raised money and applied to do a culturally sensitive food distribution. And we gave out food to our communities, rice, meat, vegetables that our community needed, right? At the same time when we do the food distribution, we will have the flu pop-up to give people flu shots, because at that time vaccine was not around. We're giving out flu shots to try to protect our community as much as possible. Drop off bags and say, how important to fill out the census in 2020, right? Our community needs to have a voice, we need to fill out the census, right? Education to our community was important. So for the 2 years' time, we gave out over 2 million pounds of food to our community, helping about 20,000 individuals, right? But that's the thing why voting is so important. That's why our voice needs to be heard. And this session is about having your voice. The best way you can have the voice is to register our people to vote. Not only for us to register, but go out to the poll. And not only for us to do it, but bring our family, bring our friends, bring them. Because their voices is important. It is time, right? Our population in Nevada, we're at almost 13%, we're at 12%. Almost 400,000 Asian Pacific Islander. It's about time that we have a voice. So we have to register people to vote, we got to get them involved. And when the vaccine came out, we had to go online, try to get online to get the vaccine and go across town. Well, I can tell you, most of my community didn't know how to figure out how to do that, or even go across town. So I went back to the state, to Nevada, to the health department, and said, can we set up a pop-up vaccine place? And we did a vaccine pop-up site. So these are things that our community have to figure out. Your community, your organization's been longer than everybody else. One of the oldest organizations, right? But if you can't get young people involved, because their voices have to be heard. They're more up to talk about their voices. With the older generation, my family, my parents, me, we were always taught to be like, let's be quiet, don't cause any problem, don't speak up, right? And then what happened is like, when we don't speak up, when we don't vote, they don't care about us, right? Frank Lee told me, your community don't vote, we don't care about your community at all, right? So we changed that in Nevada. Think about it, in Nevada, where we never had an Asian center or a place for people to go to until 8 years ago. And our programs keep growing because people knows what we do. We have to make sure, and like somebody asked me, I heard earlier, people ask about funding. How do you get funding? When you get corporate funding or you get any kind of funding, if it's from your bank, who do you bank with? C.A.C.A bank with someone. Ask that bank to give us the community side to donate to us, $2,000 or $3,000, right? People don't want to buy dinners anymore, right? Because it costs for your dinner, by the time they give you money, you don't really make that lot of money, right? Sponsorships are the best way to get funding. So you say, we bank with you, we think that you should serve us at the same time, right? We help you check in your box where they have to give so many money out to the community, and Asians going to be one of them, right? So we have to speak up. We have to say what, we have to tell them why it's good to invest in us. Because we do, we buy their food, we do their service, all the service that we have. My funders are NV Energy, which is I think some people else is PGA, whatever company you use, right? Class Communication, We do service with them all the time. Bank of America, we bank with them all the time. Wells Fargo Bank, we bank with them all the time. Why are you not asking those that we put money for them to not invest with us? Right? So that's one way for you all to raise money. When you get this funding that you get, it helps you hire people to do things. Back in the days, we used to all volunteers, and we all come together and we volunteer. Nowadays, people don't volunteer as much because they have to, feed the family or, have to pay, cost of living is high, right? So you have to change the dynamic. If one of the things that one of the funders who gave me a big fund said to me, I'll give you a 5-year fund, $1 million for 5 years to do civil engaged voter registration. But you have to raise $100,000 to match it. And that $100,000, you have to help the other community to build capacity, to make sure the Chinese Association or the Thai Association, that we can help them and support them so they can do that. One thing we ask in return is our people will be trained to do voter registration to make sure our community has a voice. So these are things that we did that changed the dynamic in a very short time. Registering over 36,000 people, that people pay attention, that when things crisis came up, they would come to us, can you do translation in Chinese in different languages? What are essential workers? When the schools are doing virtually, the school district come to us and say, can you do translation to translate how can they get their Chromebook so the kids can go to school, and also be the hotline if families don't know because they can't speak English. When they bring the kids to school, there's no school because everything was shut down during that time, right? So we have to be very creative about how do we get our community to make sure they have a voice. And that's what we did. So I'm just giving you an idea of what we did. I would love to hear from you all, where you're from, and if you are doing voter registration, what obstacle you have. So anybody ready to speak up? Okay, I'm gonna call. Can I ask you what city and town you're from?
San Francisco.
Okay, so San Francisco's like, they're the pro. You know what, I go to San Francisco to learn, right? So that's great. Sir?
From Seattle.
Seattle.
And we believe voters are very important.
Yes.
So once a year in Seattle, we do a rice drive, giving rice to the low-income senior citizens, and also voters registration with interpreting on site.
See? These are all great ideas. Sir?
Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon.
We do the same thing. We instead of giving rice, we used to. Now we give them my gift card. So
okay.
it's such an easy way to do it. And then we have voter partner with a partner doing the voters registration.
See, partners are great. Good.
Yeah. So they got a lot of funding from we don't have to go out to get the funding for the voters. So it's a good partner to have.
See, we love to share all this information.
Yeah, John Tang from Phoenix.
Phoenix, okay.
My question is, how do you get the younger people to vote? I'm talking about, that's really tough because, especially if you're Asian, they sometimes they don't vote. They just look at the whole situation and they go, I'm not voting.
Yeah, so we have a large young voters. So I'm gonna put Eric in the spot. Eric, can you stand up?
I'm folding t-shirt.
Yeah, folding t-shirt, okay. Oh, by the way, we sell t-shirts for one API vote.
API vote.
Yeah, so $10, cheaper than making it for sure. Okay, go ahead. What do you do? Young voters.
Hi everyone, so my name is Eric. I worked for VITA for the last 5.5 years. And my job here in the state, and I have numbers to back it up, is to turn out young voters, to get them engaged and get them to turn out, and also Asian Pacific Islander voters. So last year, 2022 midterm election, not talking about which party, but overall turnout, Asian turnout is one of the highest in all battleground states, in all key states, and overall youth turnout is the highest among all battleground states. So for us, doing youth voter, a lot of time, this morning I just came, I was at a high school from 7 a.m. until I came here. I asked them, who let their grandparents pick their outfits that morning? Everyone looked at me funny. I'm like, who let your parents pick your outfits? People start making fun of each other. But it's the same thing. I'm like, if you don't trust the boomer generation, apologies to those who are here as boomers, or Gen X's, or I'm a millennial talking to Gen Z today, and I'm saying that if you don't trust them to pick your outfit just for the day, why do you want to cede control? Why do you want to give power away for those folks that's going to decide your future for decades? And these are high school students and college students. It's always two things. You have to get it exciting, but also have the law to back it up. So for Nevada, we are able to lower the voter registration, pre-registration at 17. That means people can pre-register when they turn 18. The minute they turn 18, they're registered to vote. So today, we partner with high school government teacher. So this week, I'm in 3 different high schools. Next week, I have 2 high schools. We're Asian Community Development Council, but I told high school government teacher, I'll come in, help your students, entire senior class registered. Today, sitting here, just today, I have registered 500 17-year-olds to vote before I got here. And then for college, we also go out to all the campuses. VITA, as a community leader, get us in with the administrator, like the VP, the provost, and then we talk to the kind of the frontline student affairs staff to let us do University of Nevada Reno, which we just did an event and got 42 people registered to vote, and then we do UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. So that's the fun part, and then we also make it exciting. I have this thing that I have been doing for the last 5 years, puppies and boba. So puppies and boba, a lot of different definitions. The first time I did it was everyone just bring their dog, like a puppy meetup. Asians love their corgis, love their shih tzu, love their Pomeranian. I know so many Chinese families have a little white Pomeranian named Mochi. We bring them out, all right? And we love naming our dogs after food. Puppies and boba, so we have dog meetup. Is a great way to get all the boba shop, all their owner or franchise, get them involved, get them excited. This year, I actually made it a bit further. For college campuses, I can have students do dog meetup. So we got therapy dogs. The dogs that would show up, so they were actually puppies to get students involved. And then for us here, Chloe and her team help us got adoption agencies. So we have puppies. We had literally cute adoptable puppies showed up at our event, and we registered 25 people to vote. So that's how we got the youth excited. That's puppies and boba. I do baby goats for people's votes. You know, there's like a new thing where baby goats doing yoga with people. I don't know if you've ever seen video for that. But we partner with Petting Zoo to being able to bring that petting zoo to and then get the young folks excited. K-pop. We did a lot with K-pop. When the BTS concert was here, we were able to do K-pop. And K-pop is multi-generation, you know?
Yeah.
And it's amazing being able to do that. So we do K-pop themed event, get folks out. So that's Pokemon Go to the polls. I don't know if anyone knows Pokemon Go. It's like the mobile game that people go to the parks. It's the only thing that gets young kids out the door. They go to the park because they can collect Pokemon. So we use that and partner with the game developer and get people out, register them to vote. And then young kids, they care a lot. They care about climate change. They care about a lot of the human rights issues. And also, they see it every day from their high school, from their college. You know, there's a student loan affordability thing, so we know what buttons to push to get them excited, to get them, and for, last thing I want to say is for high school and college students, they are pack animals. So we go to Asian Student Union, we go to an Asian fraternity, Asian sorority, we go to high school, go to key clubs or a debate club. And then one kid will find out, will bring you 10, 20 kids with you. So that's, sorry, I took more time than, but you know, youth.
So guess what? You want youth voters? Talk to the youth. When he came to me, he goes, I want to bubble puppies and boba. I looked at him like, what? Why? So he goes, I said, go ahead, try it. When he says, baby goats for your vote, I said, what? Listen to the young people. Listen to their ideas. Because they have some amazing ideas. You can't reach out to them if you don't get them involved. You can't ask them, how do we get to your generation if you don't ask them? and say, guess what? I'm not only gonna ask you, we're gonna give it to you, do it, like you say, try it. In the back of your mind, I don't think it's gonna work. Try it, right? But what I found out is a lot of young people, when we register them, they bring their parents to vote for the first time. Because now it's a family thing, right? You gotta make it fun. I tell people, when I started to register people to vote, I was trained to say, oh, it's your duty as a citizen to vote. You're an American citizen, that's your right. And they looked at me, I said, okay. But then I couldn't get people to register, right? When I changed that word to say, we need your voice. It is time for our community to have a voice. If I register you vote, that one vote, people always say, does it make a difference? Make a big difference. Because it's time for us to have a voice. We have been so silent for so long, so invisible for so long, because we're afraid before, right? But we keep doing that, we will never give our community power. We never give our community what we deserve. So, asking young people, that's how we do it. Talk to young people, volunteer, support them. Not talk about, we want to support you. We actually want to support you. Tell me, what do you think is a good idea? And some of them, I would be like, okay, we did a couple that didn't work, but that's okay. We have to kind of like open our minds to them and talk to young people to know what they want, right? So we got where you're from, right?
Phoenix.
Phoenix. Right, Phoenix.
Julianne, I have a question for him. Is he just doing the schools in Nevada? Have you done out-of-state?
That's right.
ACDC is a Nevada-based,
You guys know.
so we only do Nevada.
Yeah. So
Other
we know
states, that's the
You're based
national.
in Phoenix, you said?
Yes.
So,
she'll be the person that you go to. She
Yeah.
goes to all the different states, do the training and support. That's how we got training from them.
so we were the ones who first trained them, and then they did the amazing puppies and boba and young goats for the vote, stuff like that. So our organization, APIAVote, we are national, but we work with partners in 29 different states, and we have partners in Arizona, and not just partners, but community members who we see as friends, who we've worked with for a very long time, who we can connect you with, and get you started on that work so that we can do that work in Phoenix with you all.
That's what they do. I'm sorry, the gentleman next to you? You're both from, I guess, too,
I'm from
right?
San Francisco.
San Francisco, okay, so they have amazing work, they know what they're doing. We can learn some point from there. Another thing that I do when I started the nonprofit is I went to different cities and states that had a center already, so we can do and learn from them. Why am I really meant to be, right? So thank you, San Francisco.
I'm Albert Fong, and I'm from Salinas, California. We have a kind of an unusual population geographic, because in Salinas it's predominantly 70% Hispanics.
Yes.
So, I mean, recently I was at our community college and there was a registration table, and they're trying to register voters and talk to a lot of college students. But in our communities, there's not that much Asians. It's a smaller percentage. So sometimes when we get other ethnicity that are registering, it may hurt us in the community because we don't have our strength as Asians because we're a small number. So I just want you to see I think most people are pretty open-minded, and I'm a city commissioner, so I think we try to do it for the better of the whole community.
Right,
not
you have to.
So it's
So
just
we-
a thought.
That's a thought that we always bring other groups. We work with other organizations because minority needs to come together to build power. What they have done in the past is separate. The Latino is different from the blacks, different. And that's the problem that we're always going to have, right? In Nevada, we always work together. When we have events, we work together, we invite them. Especially when we're doing the vaccine, we demand to have the vaccine in Asia Town and do it. Some of our other, we call brothers and sisters from the Latino community, can we send our people over? I said, definitely, for sure. We do not turn anyone away. Because when you include people, you can build strength. When you include the other groups, we will not see that we're the enemy or whatever. We are now working together. And that's why when there's an Asian hate crime that came up, all the other groups will come and say, how can we help and support you, right? So that is really important. So yes, I'm glad that you mentioned that. Small population, don't include us in this pocket that we only want to do Asian. Stop that. We're in America. Let's include everyone, because when we support each other, it is stronger.
Thank you.
I'm Kevin from Seattle.
Seattle, yes, another great. And she's from?
I'm from LA.
LA, okay. Okay. Oh, he's pro here, so yeah, you know, like pro. I think I missed the back row back there.
Hi, Eugene from LA. Some of our members have been involved in the Coalition for Better LA, which has been networking with African American, Latino, and other Asian American advocacy groups.
Yes.
We have had discussions related to local elected candidates, candidate elections.
Yes.
With various new officials like community policing, and with anti-Asian violence.
Good.
So there are people who are involved. In fact, our current president is involved. It is the staff coordinator for a group called LA versus Hate, which is an agency subset of the county-wide agency dealing with any kind of hate.
Right. Oh, great, thank you for sharing. And the gentleman next to you, where are you from?
Me?
Well, you too, but.
Eddie,
Where?
San Francisco.
San Francisco, and I know you came
I'm John Wong, I'm from the greater San Gabriel Valley.
San Gabriel, okay. Wow. California, not California here?
Not California.
Okay. Maybe we can learn from you all, right? In Nevada, we're trying to like figure out how to do this, right? It's really a new, you know, the agent's been here for so long, but we've been so quiet for so long that we became invisible for a while, right? So now we have close to 400,000 Asian Pacific Island, Nevada. We have over 32,000 Asian business owners, right? And that's on the 2020 census. That's already, we're in 2020, that's 3 years ago. Our numbers, I'm sure, is higher, right? But when we come together, when we register our people to vote, we get so much stuff done for our community. And I think in the other cities and so forth has proven that. San Francisco, LA, maybe not Salinas, but we'll get you there, right? But yeah, we'll get you there. Right? We'll make it out, right? But let's get our people involved, right? A beautiful town, by the way, Salinas. So we want to get away from this crazy town here. This is adult fantasy land, right? We have all these. We have Paris here. We have New York here. We have Italy, the Venetian, right? Bellagio, right? So we have people coming into Nevada for the last 50 years. So education was not one of the things I cared about. It was only adult town before, right? But we have changed. We used to be the gaming capital of the world. Then we went from gaming capital to conferences and conventions capital, right? Then we became to the nightlife, the nightclub and stuff like capital of the world, right? Now we have the food capital of the world, right? So guess what's next? Sport. We have the Golden Knights hockey team. We have the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. We have
World champion Golden Knights, world champion Las Vegas Aces for WNBA.
women's basketball team.
The Las Vegas Raiders, the baseball team will be Las Vegas Athletics. If anyone's from Oakland, sorry.
Okay, let's not start that. We got some Oakland people here, so let's not start that
The
fight.
professional lacrosse team, of course, we have UFC, boxing, and then F1 is coming in 2 months. We always have Speedway with
Don't come
NASCAR.
in November.
And then NBA team is very likely going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years.
In the Super Bowl next year.
Oh yeah, Super Bowl.
Yeah. Right? In a very short time. When not too long ago, when COVID hit, the casino had to shut down. We turned ourselves around. Because of that, we have to, in the organization, be quick in turning things around at the same time to make sure our community is served. So last year, we opened a medical center. 81% of our community are either uninsured or underinsured. They work part-time, they don't have insurance, or whatever the situation might be, right? So we have a medical center with Asian doctors there to make sure that we can help our community. So when you do things like this, you can ask for funding easier because we are visible. We have data to follow away. So that's a success story, but it came from one APIAVote. That organization came to me in 2015 to see if we would do voter registration. And I said to them, I said, I have no clue how to do voter registration. My background is always in business. My background, I was the president of the Asian Chamber back in the days, right? My background, I opened my own insurance company because when I was working for a big insurance company, they told me I was an Asian female, that I couldn't lead anyone, that I could not lead the employees. I said, really? Okay, so I opened my own agency and built it in 8 years, right? So this is what we need to do, is make sure our voices are heard. It is time. So but I have young people, because they're going to take over in the future. They're educated, they're trained, they know how to do, they know what we need to do to help our community in this time. So thank you very much. We have anything else you want to do?
I mean, if y'all have any questions, we want to open
What
that
are we
up.
doing on time?
That's good. Yeah, 15
Okay.
minutes.
Oh, sorry, I'm a little late. Could you introduce yourself? I don't know who you are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Hi. So, sorry, for all the people who came in late, my name is Sam Solemnidad. I'm the Strategic Partnerships Manager at APIAVote.
And they're based in Washington, D.C.? How many chapters?
We are based in Washington, D.C., but we have local partners in over 29 states across the country.
So this is what you do? You train people?
Training?
Yeah, we train people. That's one of the things we do. We do a lot of other things, but that's one of the things we do is we go to different states and train them and help them create state-specific or locality-specific field plans so that you guys can know how to do voter education and engagement where you're at.
Who finances you?
Well, we come from many different sources, but as Vito was saying, there's really funding everywhere, from corporations,
Oh, I see.
from
Okay.
government. But we are a 501c3.
Right. So don't just think about funding from one location. I get that question all the time, who funds you? Okay, are you state government? I tell you one thing, I am every funding you can think of.
Very good.
We get state funding, no federal yet, right? Not yet, no federal yet, not yet. Get working on that.
Not yet.
State funding, county funding, but guess what? I get corporate funding, which Chloe back there that's on her phone is probably talking to one funders now. But they, we have corporate funders like Bank of America, Wells Fargo Bank, NV Energy,
Panda Express.
Panda Express. I know, so our funding sources from all over, foundation side, individual side, and so forth. We have over close to 40 different grants of funding that we get. And that's just not talking about the little fund, just the big fundings, right? So no organization, we can't do this work by only relying on one funding. It's also very dangerous. Diversify your funding, but when you go to corporation, their funding are the best because it's non-restricted. So you use the funding to pay staff. You can use the funding to pay overhead, right? And spaces, right? So think about those funding. And you have people that you work with constantly that you can get funding from. And they want to fund us. They just don't know who to fund, right? So think about that.
Our community actually receives a lower amount of philanthropy dollars than all other ethnic groups. So they know that we're here and they usually want to fund us, they just don't know where to go. So that's where you come in and you say, I'm here, fund me. I have one. Yeah. Any other questions?
I must say that we have a dinner every New Year for our anniversary too, for the C.A.C.A problem. We do have dinner to do the fundraising. We invite the governor, all the top politicians to be there, so it draws people to come in.
Yeah.
So the dinner is very important for us to do
On
fundraising.
your dinner, do you have any corporate sponsors or any sponsors?
Yes.
Okay, see, the key.
Yeah, that's
Right, that's
the
key.
easiest money.
Yeah, make sure that you get these money that funds your event, because when you sell tickets for the dinner,
Yes,
it's not
also
profitable.
that too.
Yes.
Also,
That's a little bit, yeah.
we're pretty good that income too. It's,
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot, you're from again?
Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Portland, Oregon, good job, okay.
That's how we connect with the government.
Ah.
So we can have a voice in the government. That's why the dinner for us is very important, not just getting the funding from the corporation like Nike, Intel, that's what
Oh, wow, okay.
Diet.
Connect with him, no, just kidding. Connect with him so we get some intel money, right? When we talk about the presidential town hall in 2016, guess where the 2016 presidential town hall was held at? It was held in Las Vegas, at Caesars. So we told Celine Dion that she needs to give me the costume for one day to do the presidential. So we had her not have a show that night, actually it was her night off. We had the presidential town hall there, right? So I'm really encouraged when they put the presidential town hall, which is 2024, next year.
Yes, July 13th, 2024, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I encourage you to come. The point is not only for the people in Philadelphia, it's the point from everybody from all over to come. And I think your organization should send people to that organization to say, we are also an organization that's been around for a long time. We should support and be there. We need you there. We need the voices there, right? So that's why I'm saying, if you don't get your community involved or your town involved and you don't attend some of these things, you won't be heard. So when they put this presidential town hall, which costs hundreds and thousands of dollars put together, it's a benefit for our community. That's the reason why we need to show up, show our numbers, show our support, and make sure our voices are heard.
And that's why voter engagement work is so important. And you know, you guys all come from a bunch of different places. Shout out to the California folks, of course. I'm from California, born and raised, but we also have so many other states where really you all have your communities there, and you need to make sure, like, you guys have connections, get our communities out to vote if you can. So on that note, I know we kind of asked this question already, but how many people in the past have done voter engagement work or voter registration work with their chapters or lodges? How many? Okay, that's a good number. How many of you are planning to do that for this next year, 2024? A little less hands, okay.
She'll come out to train your people.
I
You get some young people involved, she'll fly her people out and train you all.
I'll fly out.
Let's get everybody involved. Let's get our voices heard. Come on. It's fun. We gotta make it fun. That's one thing, you gotta make it fun. Young people, you don't make it fun, they're not gonna go. Right? So you gotta make it fun. When we talk to the bobo tea or whatever, we ask them, say, we can bring you people, can you get a discount on the tea so we can give out to the community? And we can advertise your place at the same time. Yeah, it's a win-win for everyone, right? It's how you market it, right? The Asian Night Market that's coming up on October 14th, next month, so anybody want to come on Saturday, we bring anywhere from 10 to 13,000 people there. But guess what we do? When we have that stage, we tell people, register to vote. We have our people here to register to vote. Get to the poll. Make sure that you vote because your voices need to be heard, right? And that's what we do at those events.
I have a question. When you do that in a community, do you need to maybe do a little bit of outreach or research to find out what the community is already doing so you don't really have conflicts and duplication?
That's usually, especially if it's a smaller town, the more important. Let's not have a dinner the same day. Let's not have our fundraiser the same day. Let's do it separately. Not fundraiser, events that we have, right? So, I agree. So, try to ask, because you're small enough to ask. We do events, and we find out when we do events, we're gonna, duplicate some other events, but they're not our audience, right? When we do the Asian Night Market, there's gonna be another group that's doing what again? Another group that's gonna be.
Well, there's the Halloween event next door. There's like different Renaissance fairs. There's a lot happening. So it's kind of how you design your event and market it to the people that are.
But you know what? Food is number one in our community, right? We go to anywhere that has food. That would always like, you might have an event, but we have food. We have Asian local restaurant business owners that's going to be there. So you can help some of the local business too, right? I never knew there was a little thing place, or I didn't know about this little restaurant here or whatever. But when you do this night market, that's when they can show the food that they have and tell them that we're here and come and give us business, right? Help us out, right? So that's the main reason why we do the Asian Night Market. It's all local business, small business, to show their work. So we want to make it fun. It costs us a lot of money to put that together. Let me tell you, we do not make money in those events. But we have enough fundings from other sources that we want to reach out to the community, they will fund us for that.
I have one last question.
Sure.
I couldn't hear your name because you have a mask in.
Sorry, yeah.
Because of COVID-19, I probably lost some hearing.
Oh, yeah,
Since
that's right.
I was gonna ask you, are you doing anything in the San Jose, Silicon Valley area right now?
So at the moment, we do have a partner in the Bay Area that I would happily connect you with. But just to anyone else, if you're wondering whether or not we have a partner in your area, even if we don't have a partner, we have a friend. We always have a friend in almost every state who we can connect you with who's doing this kind of work. And so even though APIAVote, we're national, so we're not doing anything specifically in the San Jose area, we probably know someone who is doing that work.
Because I know a lot of people, Asians in the San Jose area.
We should think about
Well,
that.
San
Yeah.
Jose is like
Yeah.
50 miles north of this.
Yeah. I'm from San Jose, so it's kind of funny.
You're
saying
from
that.
San Jose?
Yeah. Well, I was in San Francisco, and I lived in San Jose for about 20 years there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you
from
know, I
San
can't
Jose.
believe how old I am. I keep forgetting, I've lived this place, and if that's so long, I think, wow,
Let me have your
Yes, I can share that after, if anyone has any.
I'm just curious if we could connect.
Yeah, of course.
This is why we're here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're here. If any of you guys, especially, I didn't see that many hands for 2024. I'm hoping that if I come back next year, maybe, actually not next year, but I'm hoping if I see any of you again, those hands would be up this time. Please, 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 talk to me, to make a plan for 2024. If you have questions on how to make plans, I can help you with that. But please, our voices matter. We need to get out the vote, as Vita keeps saying. One vote makes a difference, and whether that's our young people, older generations, whoever that is, we need to show up. We need to make our voices heard. With that, I will end. Before we end, though, we have T-shirts available. They're nicely folded now. Thank you for that. So they cost about $10, as you just said, cheaper than what it probably costs to make them. It says "Ask me why I vote" in a bunch of different languages. If you like them, please come forward. We have them, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you all.
Thank you.